So now it seems that we've entered into a junction of life that is like a crossover between everything that exists. So if you're a kind of person that's like a specialist, you might get a little bit confused about what to do. But if you're a person like me who is a jack of all trades, then you'll be able to put everything together. So where health has become about politics and politics has become about business and management. So let's see if we can put all those things together and come up with a solution for everybody to use. YouTube, what's up? Why am I talking to YouTube? Good citizens of planet Earth. Ni hao. Fuck, I speak Chinese. I must be a traitor. Anyway, I want to address the...
I thought his mind had snapped. That he actually believed he was being attacked by invisible enemies.
things I was talking about last time about people just doing their jobs. Like those wonderful policemen everywhere around the world. Some of them are good. A lot of them are just power-hungry demons spawned from hell. But that's also okay. I do believe in a time like this that the police are just doing their jobs, which is the actual problem. They're just doing their jobs of following orders. And we need to understand the difference between following orders and following the Constitution. So let's just try to appeal to people's higher nature. We'll try to appeal to people's higher conscience, try to get them into a dialogue rather than barking orders and then saying, I didn't do that. That's not what I did. So yeah, try to enter dialogue and bring back this peaceful kind of relationship that we should have with law enforcement officers. They're not the enemy. The enemy is inside. The enemy is within. So once we realize that and they realize that, then we can start to think for ourselves and to question authority and directives.
Tonight, I want to update you on the latest steps we're taking to fight the disease and what you can do to help.
Please, listen. I've got one or two things to say. Tell us both of them. Look, you've got it all wrong. You don't need to follow me. You don't need to follow anybody. You've got to think for yourselves. You're all individuals. Yes, we're all individuals. You're all different. Yes, we are all different. I'm not. Shh. You all got to work it out for yourselves. Yes, we've got to work it out for ourselves. Exactly. No, that's the point. Don't let anyone tell you what to do. Otherwise, out.
And replace directives with the constitutional law. So here's some questions that we can ask our friendly neighborhood policemen if we ever ran into them or they wanted to take our time, which is very expensive. Okay, so I'm a citizen who has had enough of sitting. That's why I make them laugh first, because you get them on your side, and that's really important. Now I'm a standing person. Do you understand? I'm funny, right? No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead. What do you want to say? Blah, 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 blah. Can I stop you there? Do you believe the government priority is acting in the general public's best interest or their own? Maybe we'll get them thinking. Do you believe the government knows better than medical professionals how to protect lives? Yeah, see what their response is. Get them thinking a little bit more, being more human. Try to get them to be more human, to interact in a human way, not in a directive, barking orders way. Do you believe the government would ever use lies to protect their position? Yeah, so just 3 interesting questions to probe. to see what kind of person you're dealing with, because all police officers are different.
Oh, Jesus Christ Almighty.
Do you believe it's the legal and lawful right and obligation of the people to complain against injustice and laws they feel are unjust? This is a good one, really good conversation starter. So it's nice to have a conversation with police before you start charging them for your time.
I feel alright, no, no side.
Are you aware of the difference between lawful and legal? That's a really good one, actually, because it's the difference between maritime law and common law. So it's a really nice one to make sure you're dealing with people and you're entering into commerce with people that understand the law. Very important.
I wanna get a fat and no I can't afford it.
Do you believe we should be waiting for the science that takes years to conduct before releasing the unlawful lockdown? It should hopefully inspire them a bit.
It's just a bureaucrat, so won't give me a mortgage.
Are you aware of the punishment in law for treason, fraud, and aiding and abetting? Treason in the UK, I believe, is loss of life. Your head gets chopped off. Perhaps, yeah, I think that's still in accordance with law for treason.
Everything's just wonderful.
Have you a personal opinion on the level of the power the police have been given to enforce unlawful lockdowns that have not been proven to help, yet have been shown to make health and stress and suicide and self-medication with alcohol worse for a virus that has not yet been proven to exist? Those are my opinions. They're not facts. But you can answer the question as you wish.
All the things I've done before this, they don't mean a thing.
Are you aware of the Magna Carta, Article 61, and its relevance in times of overwhelming government incompetence or tyrannical behaviors such as quarantining the healthy? Let's see, you got one more question.
Having the time of my life.
Are you aware that I'm a sovereign person and the tariff involved for those who wish to enter into legal commerce with my person? Or no, they probably will answer no, then you can present them with your tariff for entering into commerce with you, which will be your time. Say like for 1 hour I will charge this much money, for 1 minute I charge this much money. And once they're aware of your tariff in legal commerce law, that contract is binding, and if they say that they have seen it, you can put on the contract or the tariff that once seen, then this becomes legally binding. And once they say yes, they've seen it, can you see this? Yes, I've seen it. Then it becomes a legally binding instrument to charge people for your time in commerce. So have fun with that, and I hope it helps.
There's nothing like the truth.
So if anybody is interested in health and getting healthy and ascension and getting your brain out of a unthinkable slump that it may or may not be in, then I found something which is very interesting that said that 80% of the root cause of all chronic disease are toxins. And then leading on from that, I found that 80% of all of the main toxins that have the most effect on the human biology are in fact heavy metals. So with those two things, or armed with those two important pieces of information, you could probably imagine that removing heavy metals from the body would be of utmost importance in this time. So I've put a link to some things that I find very useful for removing heavy metals from the body. And they are namely nanozeolite, and one of them is from TRS, the other one is from RNA Solutions. and they're really the best place to start with detoxing, since they also help to moderate the Herxheimer reaction, or they slow down, even stop the Herxheimer reaction, because it's like putting all the toxins into little cages so they can be transported out the body safely. They don't interact with anything on the way down, as is the miracle of this magnetic cage we call nano zeolite. Good health to everybody. Nano. I ain't saying nothing. Something I forgot to mention is that, you know, it's good to inspire people and to be an inspirational person, not to be a dissident or an annoying person or an angry person. So, yeah, let's start with Thomas Jefferson. If a law is unjust, a man is not only right to disobey it, he is obligated to do so. That's by law. Thomas Jefferson. One has a moral responsibility to disobey unjust laws. Martin Luther King Jr. Civil disobedience becomes a sacred duty when the state becomes lawless and corrupt. It's Gandhi. Another quote from Martin Luther King, which I think is important right now. People fail to get along because they fear each other. They fear each other because they don't know each other. They don't know each other because they have not communicated with each other. So try to raise that level of communication with the people in power, or the people who think that they are in power. Another one is from Martin Luther King again. There comes a time when one must take a position that is neither safe, nor politically correct, nor popular, but he must take it because his conscience tells him that it is right. Another one from Martin Luther King. Never forget that everything Hitler did in Germany was, in fact, illegal. Another one. You have very little morally persuasive power with people who can feel your underlying contempt. Watch that one, because that will screw your chances of educating anybody. Again, Martin Luther King. This is imperative. This one right now. An individual who breaks a law their conscience tells him is unjust, and who willingly accepts the penalty of imprisonment in order to arouse the conscience of the community over its injustice, is in reality expressing the highest respect for the law. And this one is for all the politics, Boris Johnson.
If you don't follow the rules, the police will have the powers to enforce them, including through fines and dispersing gatherings.
The key to successful leadership is influence and not authority. It's by Kenneth H. Blanchard. No comment, YouTube. Thank you, everyone.